Hi, I am Lois, your friend for forgiveness from Walking Without Skin. I use the acronym SMILE to describe what I do. I'm a speaker and storyteller, a mentor, an inspirer, a learning facilitator, and an empowering coach. But today I am representing Motivate magazine. Motivate, that's MO2. VATE, Motivate magazine. It's an online and a hard copy magazine, and it's really brilliant. You need to get a hold of it. You can visit motivatemagazine.com. It's filled with business and life articles, and I have the pleasure of welcoming one of the authors today. So hi, Andrea. I've got to get this right. Hochgatterer. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Lois Wagner.
It's great to have you on the show and to talk about the article you published called What If? So, yes. What if? Such a huge question. What if I'm a healer? Well, when I read your article, I had to stop and I had to think about that question, because I had to ask myself, based on the work that I do, what if I am a healer? And I think I came to the conclusion that I am a healer. So what prompted you to start this line of inquiry?
Well, it's quite fascinating that you say it prompted you to think about it, because when somebody, as I say in the article, introduced me, oh, you're that healer, it prompted me to actually think about it and clarify it in my mind what is going on. Because of course, in the line of work we do, as soon as you work with people and you want them to become better and feel better and live in better health or in more awareness, do we actually perform some healing action with that? So although when they asked me the question, I reeled back even physically, because I thought, oh my God, what are you throwing at me here? What does it mean? I went all into my mind, of course, thinking, oh my God, I have to think about this. Then I let it go. And at the same time, it didn't disappear. I kept thinking about it and thinking about it. So I talked to many people about this, what was healing for them, done a lot of research. What does healing actually mean? Which then eventually led me to the question, what if? Asking people, what if what you already do constitutes an act of healing? What if you can actually do that yourself as an ordinary person? You don't have to be out there all woo-woo. You don't have to be, you just by changing your mindset and yourself in a way, you change your energy. And by changing your energy, the people you connect with and interact with will benefit from that. And then necessarily, because that's how energy works, their energy has to change as well. Otherwise, you can't connect.
So you were that healer. What kind of a healer are you that you were that healer?
Yes, I was actually there to give a talk on well-being in the workplace. So many modalities come into that. I'm a well-being coach. I work with people who are in chronic pain and fatigue, but also I'm a nutritional therapist. And most of all, I think that's what prompted him to call me a healer, is that I am a craniosacral Now,
what therapist?
Craniosacral therapist.
CST. For our audience, can you just explain what that is?
Yes, craniosacral therapy developed from osteopathy. As the things always do, somebody has got a new idea, somebody discovers something leading from osteopathy, and it was several people tuning into the energetic body of the body itself. So into the tissue, into the membranes, into the bones, still along the line that our bones are moving, our cranium is moving with the pumping of the craniosacral fluid. So we find an opening and a closing, an opening and a closing of the head, but also fascinatingly, it goes throughout the whole body. So once you tune in, you can actually feel, you can try it at the pelvis, you can put your hands on the pelvis and feel an opening and closing. So this action happens throughout the body and works over the nervous system. So anything that happens in the body, as we know, the impulse comes from the brain and the nerves get innervated, or the outside gets picked up by the nervous system and brings it for processing up the spine into the brain. All of this can be felt throughout the body, and we therefore can quite quickly detect where there is a misalignment, where there is the jarring of energies, yes, where the tissue is stuck. And the fascinating thing is you can listen to the tissue, because our body and our body tissues contain all the memory. So the memory will be there of having had an accident. The memory will be there of having had a shock. The memory will be there of complicated birth. And what we do as a craniosacral therapist is we listen to the story of the body. And when we're listening to it, the body almost like starts listening to itself.
And is that a hands-on therapy?
It is a hands-on therapy, although over the last year and a half, we've now developed a version of it that works over distance. I've always been involved in distant healing because it must be one of my gifts. I can tune into people from afar. Or maybe they're tuning into me, they come to me. We're sometimes not quite sure. We have a good chat and a laugh about it. Where a client says, like, oh, am I at your place today? Or are you with me? We don't exactly know how it works, but we do know that it works and we get some fantastic results with it. Right. So I have half switched online now.
So you use a number of different modalities. So 3 or 4 out of the hundreds of accepted modalities that are out there. There are so many different types of healing techniques. But your question, what if, goes beyond those accepted healing techniques. So talk to me a little bit more about what are these other considerations?
Well, it was just a what if question and an exploration of my own mind, looking at what else is happening out there. Now, for one, as I already mentioned, is that the way we are in our own energy and in our own way of dealing with daily life, with other people, we must bear in mind that everything we do, think, and act upon has got an impact on everything else around us. We are also connected to nature. We are connected to the animals around us. We are connected to the universe. And we are connected to the earth. So there is things like mindfulness, like self-exploration, as I mentioned, self-care, the simple act of self-care, that you look after yourself and you are mindful how you are within yourself, has a powerful, powerful impact on your surroundings. And I wish people would just take this on and try it. Try it for half an hour a day. Try it and notice what is happening around you. And I think that putting a light on it and becoming conscious of what is going on around you and how you yourself, within yourself, can impact what's happening around you is fascinating.
Yeah, and I love what you said in the article. If I'm going to just read it, it says, now notice the ripple effect of all those truly healing actions radiating outwards, touching the people around you, in turn impacting their surroundings. Everyone's energy will shift and lift. Healing ripples will be passed around and spread exponentially throughout society for generations to come. What if? I love that, for generations to come, because we know that we have genetic memory and we carry negative thoughts in our genes and we pass it on to our later generations. So I love the way you express that.
Yes, thank you. You put, yes, you've got the finger on the pulse there, because it is very much, I'm very interested in generational trauma. I've got long stories from my own family that I've researched, and that we actually are born with it, our genetic makeup, we are born with it, and it's still searching to resolve it. Our system, as we are born, we're carrying that with us, and we are still searching to resolve it, which, if you don't understand that, it took me a long time to tune into that. But as an example, when my father and stepson died within a month, 7 years ago now, it sent me reeling, and I didn't understand what was going on. And I worked with a very, very beautiful and clever therapist. And we went back into history, and we did find out that the whole, what I was carrying was actually the bereavement of my dad's own bereavement of losing his father, and my grandfather's bereavement of losing his twin. And their bereavement was never resolved. And I think maybe it was my job to resolve it, because while I was carrying it, that lovely therapist said, like, you know what, the dead don't want you to suffer. They don't want you to carry their pain. You can just let go. And it was as simple as that.
It is, it's fantastic. And I've worked with family constellations, which is exactly that. And it really is, it's so relieving to let go of that genetic memory. So yeah, that's superb. Yeah, so what if you also talk about how we, with self-care and self-healing, the meditation and the mindfulness, and how that adds to that wonderful ripple effect.
Yeah.
What do you recommend to people?
The recommendations are long. But it's really, if people are interested, do some training around mindfulness. Read a book on mindfulness. That is a very important thing. If you've got children, please read about mindfulness and see what ripple effect you pass on to your children, because I think we can only really, we can help ourselves now as we are and the people who are around us, but we need to get back to the children and actually start the healing from there. So your self-care and keeping yourself happy and passing that happiness and the curiosity and the mindfulness onto your children, so that they can then pass this on to further generations, I think is a very important point of it. But meditation is great, isn't it? Even if you do 10 minutes a day, mindfulness, meditation, breath work. Oh my God, breath work, so important. And really just stop once a day. Just stop. And I know it's very difficult for people. They say that to clients, they go, you must be joking. How can I stop? How can I stop? How can I stop? I go, I can't just lie down. So you just try it, even for 2 minutes. Stop and breathe. and then put yourself inside yourself and see what's happening to your body. You will feel it. You will feel how everything calms down. You will feel how you suddenly become grounded. You will shift into a better state of being. And you suddenly will see the world differently. You will notice different things. And once you got that, you can get back to that place whenever you need it. Once you got it, you know it. So, yes, I think that's what I would recommend. That makes sense.
And what do you say to those people who call this woo-woo?
Well, it's a television woo-woo. It's the computer woo-woo. Is your mobile woo-woo? Just because you don't understand how it works, and it works because it is like a radio. You tune a different station. You tune into a different station, suddenly you hear something different. It's a matter of tuning into something different that they have not experienced yet. So I would say, try a session. You'll see how not woo-woo it is. Or call it woo-woo and say, woo-woo is fantastic. What's wrong with
Love it. That's an excellent answer. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not real.
Yes, it is very real.
So what if? So I work with forgiveness, and that is very healing, because when you learn to forgive yourself and forgive other people for whatever they've done, you become free. And how healing is that? So yes, I am a healer. So
wonderful.
What else can we tell our audience about being a healer?
Yes, it is. I think it's the importance of healing yourself, your mind, and with that, your surroundings, because we're living in very difficult times. The virus, the stress in people, the anxiety in people, it all becomes overpowering. And it's really important that we keep in mind that it is affecting everybody. We are not on our own in this. We are not on our own with this anxiety. We are not on our own with the anger and the despair and the bereavement. So we're not on our own. We are absolutely connected now, even more so than ever before. So that healing action is vital. The compassion for others is vital. Having empathy is vital. That we don't judge others. That we can see that everybody is living in their own little story. Nobody is really meaning harm to other people. However, we have to step out from our own little story that is going round and round and round and see the bigger picture and bring the healing outwards.
Definitely, because even with self-healing, if we can heal ourselves, it's going to, that ripple effect, it's going to rub off on those around us. So you also ask the question, what would it feel like to be a healer? So what would it feel like to be a healer? It's a lovely question.
It is, because it's always very important that we make that connection with our feelings. What would it look like? Okay, so that's your actions and your tasks, but then what would it feel like within yourself? Where can you feel it? Where can you feel it? Can you feel an opening of the heart? Can you feel an opening of your throat? You can speak your truth. So that feeling, to connect to your feelings with the actions is very, very important, because once you connect it to your feelings, you've got it. That's when you've got it, when you've connected it to your feelings. And it feels wonderful. Many people say it feels like they're finally stepping into themselves. They connect with a part of themselves they've never connected to before. So that's why the feelings, to connect to it, is very important.
And I love what you said as well. It's about, where do you feel it in your body? Are you speaking your truth? And when you put that body-mind connection together, it makes so much sense. If you say, if you've got a restricted throat, what is it that you're not saying? If you've got a tight chest, what is it you need to get off your chest? And so if we can feel it in our bodies, we can definitely start healing our minds as well. So I love that connection.
Absolutely. I know with the work you do, you totally understand that. Yes. And once you start working with it, it falls into place. And people, once they realize, it makes them feel so much better and so much more connected. And then, do you know what? If I had a client for lifetime, I would think I've totally failed my job, because the aim is for people to learn and get all their own tools in place and learn how they can self-manage and understand what's going on. And then they can walk away doing their own thing again.
So your objective is to work yourself out of a job.
Yes, that is basically it is my job.
Yes. I think it's so important that people realize that healing is not just the physical, it's not just the curing of a disease or of an ailment. It really goes so much deeper into the mind, into the cells, into the memories. And if we understand that, then we can start healing more than just our bodies.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, it's all connected. Our thoughts can impact our body and our feelings, of course. So it is connected. It is all connected. And I'm not saying illness is just in the head. It's not. But our thoughts imprint on our body, and our body will react with certain actions. Comes up with pain, or it shuts down, or it brings up something else, just to make you listen, just to say, wait, what have you just done? What's your thoughts? How come you've just done this? Listen. And that is another important thing, that we start listening what our body is telling us and make the connection, what's happening in the body, what's happening emotionally, what is happening in our mind.
There's so much to this that we're not even beginning to understand. So, but although neuroscience is now starting to prove so much of how this woo-woo works, so we're getting there.
Yes, it's so good. Last year, I spent a lot of time just listening to tons and tons of webinars, all the experts and what they're telling us, and so much more research has come out. So many more things, like vagus nerve. As a CST, I've always known about the vagus nerve and I've always worked with it, but it's finally being proven that the influence it's got over the whole of our body. It's research into mitochondria. Wow, they've come up with so much more stuff. So much more understanding now. And we can tell people, look, there's the research paper. They've researched it. I'm not talking woo-woo. This is here now. Yeah. So that is, I'm very, very grateful for that. It's made a big difference.
So, Andrea, how can people get hold of you? Where can they find you?
They can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on my website.
under your name?
Under mine, you can find me under my name. Yeah, I've realized on Google it's quite it's quite often there. Now my website is a new one now, and it's called mindbodyalignment.co.uk. And you can find me. Yes, absolutely. Go on LinkedIn and find me there, because my numbers are there, my emails are there, and I can be contacted anytime, because I love talking to people. 30 minutes are free anyway, so.
Fabulous. So let's get this ripple effect moving. Let's heal ourselves. Let's heal each other. Let's heal the world.
Absolutely. I'm glad you're on board with me.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights. And what if we could all do this and we could all work towards healing the world with compassion and empathy?
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Lois Wagner. Let's carry on the healing work.
So thank you very much, everybody. And please do look out for Motivate magazine. It really is worth it. And you can read Andrea's article and many, many other articles. Thank you very much, everybody. Go well.
Thank
Be
you.
well. What if we were all well? Bye.
Bye. Bye.